In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about transitions as a band, and how you transition from song to song will differ based on a few things: what key the song is in as compared to the next song, and how the song ends. You know, some songs end with a big trash can. Some songs may end where you just kind of flatten out and then you sing a soft chorus. So it really just depends kind of on how your song ends, how you're going to transition to the next one. It also depends on what part of the set the song's in. The more worshipful songs, you want them to be very connected from one song to the other. Otherwise, it can kind of pull people out. When they're pressing in, if there's just like the song ends and then you just pick up and then there's an awkward silence while the track is counting in 1, 2, 1, and you're just waiting there in that silence. It's not the best. You can have silence when you're worshiping, but it needs to be on purpose. It can't just be, oh, we're waiting for the track, so now we're all just standing here and there's an awkward 5-second, 10-second, 20-second pause between songs. So, to remedy that, it's good if you have songs in the same key or songs that share chords. Keys that share chords. So, something like Our God Reigns and Alpha and Omega would be pretty easy to transition from one to the other because they're both in C. So, either way, say you're ending Our God Reigns and you're going from that song into Alpha and Omega. That one has the big trash can. He reigns. So you can do that trash can and then just let it kind of ring out. And then as you're doing that, you start the track for Alpha and Omega, where it has the little flowy part at the beginning. And it's important for the band to not just totally go out at the end. When you're flowing and when you're transitioning, you know, you want to stay nice and full on that trash can as a band. And then once the track starts, you can let it fade a little bit and let the keys do that flowy stuff. And it's very important for singers to stay on the mic and just be worshiping. You don't want to drop the mic down by your side in times when you're flowing or in between songs. The congregation's really going to follow you and go off of you. So if you're not worshiping and staying on the mic, you're going to get the congregation basically doing the same thing. They'll just kind of watch. So that's one way you can transition from Our God Reigns to Alpha and Omega, the big trash can, and then just let it kind of ring and start the track while it's still ringing. It's important as a band to practice transitions. A lot of times people are like, well, we'll just go and do it. We'll see what happens. We'll flow. And you can flow, but it's also good to be prepared. So say we were going from the end of Our God Reigns, the end of Alpha and Omega into Our God Reigns. Say you wanted to go in that order. Well, Alpha and Omega ends kind of soft. It ends with the to be praised, and then it tags it, worthy to be praised. So that one would sound really nice if everyone kind of holds that last note out together as a band. So like the guitar will strum and just hold that chord, and the piano will hold the chord, and then you start the next track like as that's being held out. Our God reigns, kind of like that. Our God reigns, right in there, like that would be a good way to transition between those two. If you're gonna flow off of the end of either of those songs, I think it's always good. There's a couple ways to do it, but I think it's always good if you keep it simple when you're flowing, because it allows everybody to focus on worshiping. You know, we're just to focus on pressing in and hearing what the Spirit of the Lord wants to say, wants to do. It's important to keep it simple. You can do something where you just play that the instrumental of the chorus or the bridge. You could be. You can do all that, but my personal preference is just to keep it simple. So like if you just ended Alpha and Omega, you play C chord, and then go to an F chord. And you can keep it with the click if you want to. But C and F are great chords just to go back and forth and just play on and worship on and flow and let the Spirit move. So that's one way you can do that. If I was transitioning into Every Victory from any of those songs, that one's a little different because Every Victory is in the key of E flat. And the other two songs are in the key of C. So what you do in those situations is you try to find something that's similar in them. For example, the other two songs that are in C, they end on C, but Every Victory, it actually starts on a C minor chord. So C, C minor. The only difference between those two chords is that middle note. So C major has C, E, G, C minor has C, E flat, G. So if I was going to transition into Every Victory from either of those songs, I'd play that ending chord as a C, but then I would open up and just play C, G, C, G, C, something like that, and not play that middle note. That way when the track comes in and you go to Every Victory, it still sounds good. It sounds connected. Even though we were just in this key where so you say you do a trash can, and then you just hold out the C, G, C, and then the track starts. Sorry, I played that wrong. It sounds good going from one song to the other. That's one way you can do it. On praise songs, it's cool if a song starts with a drum dropout, or I'm sorry, with a drum intro, then you don't really have to worry much about the transitions because it doesn't matter what key the two songs are in, because you could be trash can on an A and then it starts with the drums. It doesn't matter really what the next key is. So that's a good transition thing for praise songs is, you can have a nice trash can and then have a next song that starts with a drum intro. And keep the trash can pretty full, you want to keep it nice and full, and then have the two songs connect to where that drum intro will come in. You want to almost connect the two songs together. And that's one way you can do it. There's a number of different things you can do, but those are some simple ways that you can transition from one song to another. And like I said, when you're flowing, keep it simple. And you can say, we're going to flow, but also be prepared. Discuss as a band how you're going to transition between songs, and discuss how you're going to flow. And you can always, obviously, if Pastor Tony comes up, you follow him. If you're going C to F, and he starts singing, "We give you all," you then follow him, play the chorus, the bridge, whatever they labeled it. So a lot of it's just listening to each other, listening to whoever the worship leader or the pastor is up there. Once the pastor comes up, kind of like we do at the river, is like we have a set worship leader for the set, but once Pastor Rodney comes up, he's the worship leader. We're following him. We're all following him and seeing what he's doing, and we're going off of that and flowing off of that. So practice flowing, get together as a band and just practice worshiping. Just go from one chord to another, C to F. It's simple. You can add a couple more chords if you want to. A minor, G, F. You know, you can add a whole bunch of stuff. But C to F is simple, and it'll let everyone just focus on worshiping, which is the most important thing. If you have any more questions about transitions, there's a number of different ways to do it. Like I said, sometimes people will end a song with just an a cappella chorus, have the congregation sing something. You know, you could go into Every Victory out of a song that's in C like that. You could have just everyone sing an a cappella chorus. We give you all the glory. And that would sound nice. The congregation singing it to end that song, it makes for a smooth transition that way as well. So it's really up to you all and up to the worship leader and following the Holy Ghost, seeing what he wants you to do and doing that. Enjoy. If there's any other questions about transitions, I can think about some more, but those are some of the main ones that come to my mind.